Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Lifestyle Sunday. Lifestyle Sunday is an upload day on my channel where I hijack my channel and I talk about things that aren't necessarily plants. Sometimes it's a daily vlog or a weekly vlog, and sometimes I make something or I do some home decor. So today we are going to be making something. In last week's vlog, I talked about little felt plushies that I started to make around May with my students when I was a teacher, and I have recently picked it up again because I don't know, I think that it's a really fun way to spend my evenings. And looking into the holiday season, if you celebrate Christmas, it's a really easy way to make Christmas ornaments, that's what they're called. Or if you have children, they're really a great way to teach children how to sew. Also in the realm of children, it's a really great thing for children to play with, like little toys. You can make food for felt food and play food, which is honestly my favorite part of felt creations. But to keep it a little bit more on brand, I'm going to be showing you a combination of felt food projects and also felt plant projects. This could definitely be one of many of these videos. So if we come to the end of this video and you liked what I did, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below, and I would love to make more of these, especially during Vlogmas, because if you didn't know, I am participating in Vlogmas this year. It is official. If you don't know what Vlogmas is I'm saying Vlogmas a lot already, but Vlogmas is basically just a full 25 days of vlogging in the month of December leading up to Christmas. So my Vlogmas will definitely be centered around Christmas because that is the holiday that I celebrate in December, and I'm just really excited to challenge myself with daily vlogging and uploading. I will be keeping my Tuesday and Thursday videos completely plant related, so those will still be my regular uploads that I would have on every other Tuesday and Thursday, but Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, so every other day essentially is going to be getting ready for the holiday and doing DIYs surrounding the holiday and fun stuff like that. So Leo had to come say hi to you guys. He's missed being on camera, haven't you, baby? Oop, don't fall. So I'm gonna stop blabbing on about that now and get into the video. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 different kinds of plushies. The first one will be an avocado, the second one will be a donut, and the third one will be a saguaro cactus. Again, if you want to see more tutorials and other things, I would love to be doing more of these, so let me know if you like this video down in the comments, and let's get into the tutorial. Hey there, before we get too far into this tutorial, and I know that we haven't even started yet and I'm already pausing, but I wanted to make sure that we're on the same page as far as stitches go. So we're going to be using 2 types of stitches in this video. One of them will be a running stitch and the second one will be a blanket stitch. These are both very common stitches in the world of hand sewing, so these will be great skills for you to have in life. So let's get started. So as I was digging through my supplies to prepare for this video, I pulled out my white piece and noticed that one of my students wrote Casper all over it. No clue why, so if you notice that in the video, that's what's going on there. Let's talk about supplies. So for this specific craft, you are going to want to use a thicker embroidery needle that has a larger eye. And the reason for that is because the thread that we're going to be using is just a bit thicker. And the next thing that you're going to need is felt, and whatever colors you want. This is just a little visual of what the felt looks like. And the felt that I'm using, and I think all felt actually, is 100% polyester, if that matters to you or you wanted to know. So to get this started, I'm going to cut off just a little piece up from this Casper, and I'm going to show you how to do a running stitch and a blanket stitch. So we are first going to start off with a running stitch, and to thread your needle, you're going to want to tie a knot at the end of one of the sides of the thread. Just a quick little knot. I'm sure that we've all done this before, and my camera has trouble autofocusing. And then you are going to lick the tip of the other side of the thread. I like to flatten it out in my fingers, and then that makes it a lot easier for it to just glide right into the needle head. So you will notice as I record these clips, sometimes I was stitching completely not even in frame, so we're just gonna be patient with me in those moments. But as you can see, I am weaving the thread up and down through this white shape. That is what is called a running stitch. And I'm going to be using this in a few of the projects, so I wanted to make sure that we had, a good idea, excuse me, of what that would look like. It basically just looks like dashes, and that's the best way that I can explain it. So you can see on this donut creation, this is what we will be using it for, and now we're going to learn how to do the blanket stitch. So if you mess up on the running stitch at any point, you can unthread your needle and just pull from that knot straight out, and it should come on out. So the next and last stitch I'm going to be coaching you through is the blanket stitch, which is a little bit more intricate. And I had a little bit of a hard time demonstrating it here, so I hope that you will humor me in this. What you're going to do is pull that thread through the inside of the project so that the knot is on the inside of the project. And then you're going to come out and poke that needle up through the bottom. This is extremely important. And as you can see, you will poke it up through the bottom, and as you pull, you will notice there's a little loop that is created, and you will pull the thread through that loop. Now, if I've gone too fast here and this is confusing, I learned how to do this on YouTube. So you can, pull up a YouTube video real quick and they will talk you through it maybe a little bit better than I did, and I'm out of frame. But this is a really neat stitch. It looks really, really nice in things like the donut and the cactus. I think I used it on all of the projects actually. So it's a really, really nice stitch, but it just creates a straight line through the thread and it just looks really nice. So that is what we're going to be using. And as you can see on the donut, this is what it looks like when it is completed. So it looks really nice. All right, so now on to the fun stuff. We are going to start with our first project, which is the avocado. And the avocado was actually a favorite among my students, so I hope that you will enjoy it too. What you're going to need for each project is the correct color felt for your projects. So in this case, I have a light green, a dark green, and then I will also have a brown color for the pit. And also you're going to need matching thread. So I'm just kind of looking in my thread pile and seeing what I have that is the closest match. So what you're also going to need is the pattern pieces, and a little note on the pattern pieces. I actually will have all of these in the description box below just to make this a lot easier on you so that you don't have to go and search for them or try to make them yourself. So for this specific project, you will need to cut out 2 of the larger avocado pieces, 1 smaller avocado piece, and then 1 pit. What I do is I trace out the pattern pieces on the felt with a Sharpie. If you feel confident, you can definitely just free cut it. I ended up doing that later on, but the Sharpie just kind of helps, make it a little bit easier for your first project at least. And the good thing about this felt is when it is flipped upside down, you can't even see the Sharpie. With that being said, you're going to cut out your pattern pieces and set them aside for our next piece. Now for assembling your pieces, I like to assemble from the top down, which means if I have a piece with lots of layers, I will add on the first layer, and then once that piece is made, I will add that to the second layer, and then I will combine it all together. So what I'm doing first is I am threading that needle, and I am going to be doing a running stitch to attach this brown pit to the lighter green color. And that's really simple. This should be really, really fast because that pit is not that big. And once you have that ready, you can get started assembling that lighter green color, which now has the brown piece on it, to the top green piece. And I'm using another running stitch for this. So these first 2 pieces are really, really simple. And you know what? If you didn't want to stuff your project, you could just leave it at this. But I like my projects to be 3-dimensional, so I always stuff them in some way, which we will talk about in a couple of steps. This is what it looks like as of right now. It's super, super cute. So the next step in this process is you are going to attach those bottom darker green colors together using a blanket stitch. And again, the way that I'm doing that is I'm bringing the thread up from the bottom of the project and then threading that thread straight through that little loop that comes about. And you should start getting what looks like, just a bunch of little lines, and you will do this all the way around your shape until you only have a small 1 to 2 inch slit left unsewn. Do not close it all the way around because you won't be able to stuff it. So you want to make sure that you have enough space that you can fit the materials that you're going to be stuffing inside of this. So you could put like catnip, you could put recycled macrame rope, which is what I'm doing, or you could fill it with cotton pillow stuffing, which is very normal, and that's what I used with my students. All right, so now that I was left with just a small opening, I'm taking some macrame rope that I just had on hand, like I mentioned, and I'm kind of fluffing it up and stuffing it into my shape. And then I'm going to stitch it up, and that is the end of this project, and that is really how simple it is. It is so much fun to make these, and I'm excited to make a few more with you. Here is the final avocado. It is so cute. All right, so now on to our next project, which will be the saguaro cactus. I'm so excited about this one because I think that this is a pattern that you could make with a lot of different colors. I made a dark green one, which you can see on screen now, and then now I'm making a lighter green one with you. I've also thought about making one in like pastel pink. I think that would be really, really cute. The thing about this specific pattern that I think is really important to note, when you are tracing the other side, you're going to want to flip the pattern piece on the opposite side that you traced it before. This will make it so that you do not have any of the black showing if you are using a Sharpie to trace out your pattern piece first. If you do it on the opposite like this, it will close up like a book. For this specific cactus, I wanted to do a running stitch design all over it. Basically just make it like stripes. And for this first row, I just kind of, well, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going up and down, up and down. And what I noticed is that it just looked really sloppy because it was a lot harder to keep it in a straight line. So I got a clue and I tried out something else. It's really difficult to explain in words what I'm doing, but you can see, hopefully, I basically never thread the thread all the way through until I'm finished with that row. And you can see very clearly that it is just so much more straight. And this was actually a lot faster than pulling the thread all the way through every single time. And then I move on to the arms and I do exactly the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When it came to doing the blanket stitches on the outside of the cactus, I just was completely not paying attention to being in frame because I was really enjoying Kaylee Ellen's video. As you can see, it's playing on my iPhone screen. So the footage of me stitching up the outside of this is absolutely useless. So as you can see, I have stitched it up all the way, around the cactus, but I have left an opening at the top of the middle section and at the top of one of the arms. This project was a lot more difficult to stuff than the donut and the avocado, and that is because there are curves. So once you close up the holes, you have a beautiful, sparkly, gorgeous saguaro cactus. Also, I think it would be really cute to add a flower to these. All right, and for our final project, I know, we're already at the last one. We are going to be making a donut. I love making donuts because you can use literally any color frosting you want, and you can just do so many things with the variations and colors. The first thing we're going to do is cut out that pattern piece, and like I said earlier, you could trace it or you could just risk it and cut it out. I did that this time because this is a really simple shape. For the frosting, I did trace it just because, you never know, there are more curves in it, it's a little bit more risky. Something fun about the donut is, for mine, I like to add sprinkles, so you can pick whatever sprinkle color you want. I chose some pretty out there colors just because I thought it would be fun. I went with blue, white, and yellow, and I really love the way that it turned out. So basically, how you're going to do this is you're going to just make what would be the beginning of a running stitch in random places around the frosting. So I went color by color and just added a layer of that certain color on the donut frosting, and once you have all your colors, it makes the project look super complete and really, really cute. Again, since I like to assemble my pieces from top to bottom, we're going to attach that frosting onto the top layer of the donut by using a running stitch. And I'm using matching pink thread so that it isn't as noticeable, but as you can see on the purple donut below, you can actually see the running stitch because I didn't have a dark purple. Now this next step was a little bit difficult for me to wrap my mind around. So what you're going to do is hide the thread inside of the plush by, sticking the needle through the inside, and then you're going to start on a blanket stitch going through all 3 layers. This was a little bit difficult for me, I'm going to admit. When you're finished, it should look a little something like this. I wish that the bottom could be brown thread so that it could blend in, but that's just how the donut fries. That's how the cookie crumbles. Anyway, so what you're going to do now is a blanket stitch all the way around that donut edge, and just like we've been doing in the past, I used a really long piece of string for this one because I didn't want to run out and have to start over. That did happen a few times. I just sometimes underestimate how much thread I'm going to need, so this time I used a lot of thread and sometimes it got tangled, but that's okay. Now onto the task of stuffing the donut. So this is just the best part because it really brings the piece alive, I think. These use a surprisingly small amount of materials to stuff, so just keep that in mind. You don't need to buy like a gigantic bag of stuffing, or else you're going to be left with that bag of stuffing for a very long time. So I'm actually using a Sharpie to maneuver the stuffing on this particular piece, which I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. It's a lot more slick than scissors. So once you feel like your donut is stuffed enough, you will close up that hole just like you have with all of the other projects with a blanket stitch and tie it off. And then you have a beautiful frosted sprinkled donut to add to your Christmas tree, to your kids' play food, or just to add to the shelf of useless craft items in your home. That is where this one will be going until I decorate the tree. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed these tutorials, and if you make these yourself, I would love to see a photo. You can DM it to me on Instagram. If you want to see more of these tutorials, I have a lot of other ideas in mind and things that I've made that I would love to teach you how to do. Go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments. Of course, down in the comments. Go ahead and leave a comment down below of any ideas that you might have that you'd like to see a tutorial for. And with the holidays coming up, I would love to make things that are more traditionally a holiday ornament. So go ahead and let me know if you have any requests for that too. Alright, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!